Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's live stream, where it looks like Mr. Helgie's done all the bloody harvesting. I've got nothing to do. Terrible. Why has he done that all on his own, like a mad crazy person? Now I've got to do all the straw collecting then. And he didn't harvest that field, which kind of wanted doing before the big fields, really. But hey ho. Suppose grab a tractor, start collecting straw. What will it be? Soybean straw, won't it, over on that field? Which is 234 at the animal dealer. Let's have a look. Again, I'd be a bit concerned about leaving that header there. I don't want to leave that header there because of the chickens and the eggs. So let's move that. That in here. Just because that's where I want it to be. Right. Let's go do some straw collecting. I'd kind of be tempted to bale some of it as well, you know. We'd need to get a serious trailer that could handle a serious amount of square bales, but it would mean we would be able to get on a bit. Harvested in all like weird directions. That seems a bit strange to me. There'll be a lot of straw, but it's going to be a lot of money. Like I say, I think it might be a good idea to get the baler on the go. And also get some bales. I mean, I can buy a lizard trailer, that's not going to be too much hassle. Transporting the bales. I'll do what? 32 square bales, one of them. And it's not expensive. That's quite cheap. Buy one of them. There's a couple of other little bits and pieces I've installed as well over the last few days. For those of you that have watched the streams over the last few days, you will remember me giving the talk about plows and how there's no really good plows on the mod hub, apart from the one we've already got, the KC Cotil. And as a result of that, I was going to have to go and have a rummage through my my mod folder, my original mod folder, which has every mod I've ever downloaded in, copy of every mod I've ever downloaded in, and see if I could find some that I've used previously. I've dug some out. I've got 2 installed. One I have used before and one I haven't used before. I'll quickly show you them. They're under plows. We've got the John Deere 5-section disc jobby, which is quite nice. 15 meters wide. So if you've got a 15-meter seeder that you can strap on the back, you've got a plow and seeding solution right there. And it's not terribly expensive. 95,000 for a 15-meter wide plow. Nice going, very good machine. We've also got this thing here, which is an 18-meter ploughing type jobby that somebody's basically reskinned the subsoiler and made it an actual plough. And then we've got these, this one, and is it this one? There seems to be one missing somewhere. Unless it's in the subsoiler category. That can do lime. It can spread lime at the same time that it's ploughing. The other one, is it under the subsoilers? Yeah, it's under there. Look. And this one will do liquid fertilizer. So there's your so you could plough and fertilise at the same time. You can plough and lime at the same time. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's a shame. It is a bit of a shame, though, that the fill types for this these corn stalks and soybean straw and stuff doesn't go into our silo, because what I could do, obviously, would be to just run backwards and forwards, picking up as much straw as I can, take it to the silo for now, and just get it collected and in the silo. The other alternative then is to, once it was in the silo, we could transfer it into trucks at a later time, which obviously have a much bigger capacity than this loading wagon, and can transport all the straw to the sell point and dump it all in one big healthy go. As it stands, I don't think I can put this in the silo, which is a shame. I'll see. I'll try. If I can, fantastic. If I can't, then, nah. What are we going to do? Because it won't go in our fermenting plant, I don't think. As far as I'm aware. Because again, the fermenting plant will only take actual straw. I'm going to have to do some tweaking, I think. I'm going to have a look into some files and find out what the filter and get them added. Because it is a little bit restrictive. It's It's nice having these extra straw types, but when I can't actually tip them anywhere, that's a bit of a problem. Because it means our loading wagon is going to be kaputski. What's 32 times 4? Very quickly. 120. 128,000 litres of bales I could get on a trailer compared to 68,000 litres in this. Is it worth me doing the baling? Is it worth me baling the straw instead? Probably. Could transport more litres in one fell swoop with a trailer. Almost over, well, double, pretty much. Double what I'm hauling in this. It also means I could just bale everything. What's the truck? I mean, the trailer's going to come in useful anyway. We know the trailer's going to, because we're going to need it for moving eggs for chickens. And the chickens have, you know, laid their eggs for me. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to do one more map update anyway on the server, because there's still a few little prices that just need to be sorted out a bit on some of the production factory stuff from the placeable factories mod. Because again, some of the prices are not... The prices of the produced product are not greatly different from the cost of the item that you're putting in. So, for example, if we're putting sunflowers into the sunflower oil factory, the sunflower oil needs to be worth a heck of a lot more when it comes out the other end than the sunflowers that are going into it. Otherwise, why bother? Why bother putting sunflowers into it if, you know, you might as well just sell the sunflowers? So I do need to still tweak some of that a little bit and get that fixed, which I've been working on. I have been working on that. But I also need to add some support for being able to obviously store soybean straw and stuff at the places that need it storing. Oh yeah, 16 grand. Right, I think what I'll do, when we get back to the farm, I'll put this back in its little holder, its little holster, and then I'll grab the baler and I'll go do some baling, because otherwise I'm just going to be driving, I'm losing so much time driving backwards and forwards to the sell point. I'd rather maximise my trips, because obviously the price is going to go down at some point. And I'd rather deliver, you know, 128,000 litres before the price drops than 68,000 litres and get more for my delivery. There's also not a problem with that, because at least if I do bales, we can store the bales. We can just pick the bales up, store them somewhere until we need them, or we want to sell them. And at least it lets us get on and replant the field and everything. This guy's on a go slow in front of me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to baling. As much as I like loading wagoning, and loading wagoning works on, certainly, I think the straw we pull off fields 2 and 3, I would be inclined to loading wagon and put straight in the fermenting silo. because that would work out fantastic. However, I do feel on the bigger fields, baling's going to save us a bit of time. Baling could save me a lot of time. So, let's go do it. I'm assuming Mr. Helgi had done the straw off that field. Hence why we've got, you know, 561,000 bucks in the bank account. Obviously, we've got a couple of fields to buy. A quick look at the equipment from. I think the weight on my tractor needs a repair. But it's all bashed up. The header definitely does. Ooh. Well, I'm tempted. I'm still very tempted to sell that header, by the way, and that cultivator. In fact, actually, the cultivator's probably going to go. Definitely, I think. Because I kind of want a bigger if we're going to get bigger plough, we could do with maybe a bigger cultivator. It will come in useful as well for doing some of the cultivating contracts on the map. And if I'm going to get bigger ploughs in the, you know, 15 or, you know, 18 metre range, you'd kind of want a cultivator that can match it. Also means we could probably do away with the subsoiler then, the yellow culti plough platinum thingy jiggy jobby, because that's going to be pretty much redundanted, surplus to requirements and all that. But I'm going to bale the straw, the soybean straw, because it's just going to take ages whizzing up and down. When that loading wagon gets full, I've got no way. I've got to go and sell it because I can't store it anywhere. Can't tip it anywhere. And if I tip it at the farm barn sales, we're losing way too much money on it. I know people will say, well, you've got that much of it, does it really matter? And the answer to that is yes, it does matter, because we've got a massive loan that we've got to pay back. So I want every freaking dollar I can get right now for every job. Once the loan's paid off and we're out of debt, then I'm not too fussed then about maybe not getting top price for some of the stuff. But ideally I want to be debt free. That means at the moment doing everything we can to get as much money in our pockets. So obviously we're going to have a grass bale come out first. Can't really do anything with the grass bale. But after that, it's all going to be this lovely soybean straw coming out of here. And these are just regular 4,000 litre bales. This isn't the straw harvest add-on baler which does bigger bales. So it's got to put up with regular old bales. Although it would be interesting to check that trailer and see how many round bales it can hold, because obviously if we get the cheap round baler from the straw harvest add-on, can do massive round bales. If it can carry more round bales than square bales, That would make my life a lot easier, wouldn't it? If I can, if I can transport, because I think the big large round barrels are about 12,000 litres, which is obviously like 3 times as big as a single square one. If I can get more of the round ones on the trailer, I'm going to be able to transport a heck of a lot more volume. Maybe worth looking at some point. Have to see. But for now, we've just got to go. Got a day of basically baling and straw selling, and then we've got a couple of fields. Thing is though, before I harvest fields 9, 2 and 3, I kind of want to get these fields prepped and reseeded and planted, because I don't want to fall into that trap where all our fields need the exact same thing doing to them all the time, because it just makes it, you end up having to harvest like 6 fields in a row. You don't get any variety of work then, and I want to avoid that. I want to avoid that if I can. We seem to always fall into that trap, and there's no reason to, because fields can be at different stages. Might need to just look at that. There we go. We're getting this done. We're getting cracking. Made a few bales. Pumping out quite a few litres of straw. Might just have to have a look into it though, the straw me mod. Like I say, just to find out what the actual field types are, so I can actually add it to the silo on the map. And also my fermenting station, so we could maybe make some silage out of it. That would be quite nice. Just working very hard. Loads of bales made so far. There's a big heap here. Can I pick all that up? Yes. Yes, I can. I'm wondering if this is Stevie's modded baler. Could well be. Hence why it's so good at picking up the swaths. Right, I remember this one will do the alfalfa, won't it? It'll do the alfalfa bales as well. I've done one load with the loading wagon. I've sold that. I'm going to do a load, obviously a lot with the baler now. It'll just be a little bit easier to transport, I think. Lots of bales, lots of pretty bales. Oh crap, forgot to put the thing down. There we go, that's better. To drop the bales in between rows. Kind of okay there, I suppose. Yeah, it's been a weird week this week. Been an interesting week. Obviously, I've done a lot. We've done a lot on the server in the evenings, and then on the YouTube side of things, obviously, I've had a lot of the farm sim videos, the streams, the VODs of the streams. I've had them going live each morning on the channel for people who haven't been able to watch the stream or don't have Twitch or whatever. So they can watch it, and then in the evenings I've had my Mafia Definitive Edition videos being posted on YouTube and going live. It's a bit weird because I was having a look at the channel today, and the Mafia videos really have done very poorly. They haven't been viewed. I don't quite understand why, because the Mafia 2 series did very well for me. A lot of people watched those videos, and it was well received as a nice alternative. You know, it broke the channel up from just wall-to-wall farm sim content. And I said at the time that I was going to do the Mafia Let's Play. So all this week I've had videos going live every evening on the YouTube channel, and people haven't watched them. Shell Shock Brew, hello, welcome to the stream, Shell Shock Brew. Now, thankfully for me, there's only 2 more Mafia videos to go public. Monday and Tuesdays, because the series is done and recorded, but because it's received very little reception, I probably am not going to do the 3rd one as a result. I'm also keeping an eye on my F1 videos as well that I've been posting on the channel, because again, if the views on those don't start to pick up, I'm probably not going to carry on with that series either, because it just takes far too much time if people aren't going to watch it. It does feel quite bad that I seem to be in a position where, unless I'm doing farm sim stuff, people don't want to watch. It's like, I've kind of pigeonholed myself as being a farm sim guy. And suddenly, if I do anything else, people switch off. Like, well, you know, I started out as a variety game player stroke streamer. Although a lot of my content over the last 2 years has been focused on Farm Sim 19, I do kind of want to still be able to do other things. Especially more so now as we're coming to the end of FS19's life, because it's been out almost 2 years now, and it'll be a while before we get a new game from Giants, and there's not going to be a lot of new content coming to it after the next DLC, which comes out next month. And I know Stevie has said he's not making any more maps for FS19 because he's not doing any more mods for FS19 because he's too busy with his real life work stuff. his real life work commitments and stuff have obviously ramped up a lot in the last couple of weeks. So he's officially said that he's now done making mods and maps for the game, which is a little bit disappointing because obviously I really like Stevie's maps and mods. So I don't know how much new stuff is going to come out that's going to interest me, motivate me to keep playing. We really need we really needed something gameplay that really changed the gameplay of the game and brought some new gameplay features. Something, you know, on board with like a global company type mod, which obviously was a big game changer when that came out. That gives you more things to do in the game besides just your field work and stuff. I mean, the placeable factories mod was sounded great on paper, was a great looking mod. Just, it's been very poorly implemented by the mod author, and it's a little bit of a pain to make work with a map. As I found out this week editing this map to make it work with the mod. We'll see. I mean, there's still a few obviously maps that we're going to be doing on the server here in multiplayer. But my single player days are probably coming to an end because I'm struggling to, you know, struggling to find a single player map to do a let's play on that I want to do. I mean, I know I started No Man's Land a few weeks back and I did a few episodes on that, and then I kind of stopped doing No Man's Land. I will go back to it and I will pick it up, the series up again. It's just that I started finding myself spending too many hours, far too many hours with just farm sim in my schedule of work, and it was starting to not be fun. You know, and that's the problem when you've done, like, you know, 4,000 hours in the game. You've kind of overdone it a bit. And that's why I took a bit of a break. And that's why I've taken a bit of a break from playing it in single player. I'm only playing farm sim on the server at the minute. And that's keeping it a little bit more fun and enjoyable for me. And obviously the great thing is that obviously whilst I'm streaming, I'm making content. So it's kind of an easy way of making videos, because once the streams are over, I can just post the stream over to YouTube for the people to watch over there. I haven't got to do any extra editing or rendering and all that kind of stuff, which is a bit nice. Yeah, the multiplayer is definitely better, especially if you can play with other people. If you can play with other people, it obviously makes multiplayer a heck of a lot more fun and enjoyable. I'm lucky in the sense that that Mr. Helgi found me a year or so ago, and we've been playing multiplayer together for a while now, which is quite fun. He makes it the game more enjoyable for me. We have a good laugh together, you know. We've been joined by a couple of people occasionally, but no one's really ever stuck with us. So we've never really had like any regular people join us and become, you know, full-time regular players with us. So every map we play, it just tends to end up being me and Mr. Helgi. He's probably having a day off today because he did all the harvesting yesterday. He did all the harvesting yesterday evening when I couldn't play. I couldn't get on the server yesterday because I had too much stuff to do work-wise. And when I've logged on today, he's done like the 2 biggest fields that we have. And he's left me all the straw here on field 11. All the soybean straw. He's left me all the soybean straw to do. He did the corn straw on field 4, which was nice of him. So I'm going to get this picked up. I'm then going to look at getting fields 4 and 11 turned around and get them seeded before I go off and tackle fields 9, 2 and 3, which also now need harvesting. Because what I don't want is to have all the fields on our farm needing the exact same thing at the exact same time, if you know what I mean. I'd like to have the fields staggered and be at different stages so that there's a variety of different work that anyone hopping onto the server can undertake. I don't want somebody logging in and only having harvesting to do, because that gets boring. Or I don't want someone logging into the server and only having ploughing to do, because that gets boring. So it'd be nice if if there was like a couple of fields they could seed, and a couple of fields they could fertilise, a couple of fields they could harvest. That's how I kind of like to work things. For some reason, we always end up falling into this rut where every field suddenly is at the exact same stage. Might be the growth control. Again, we're not using any growth mods, anything that affects growth time. We're just using pure vanilla game growth, which means a lot of the crops go through the growth stages at the same time. Whereas in the past, we've used growth control to set all the crops at different growth times and give yourself a natural break between the crops. But I don't think that mod works with maps which have extra fruit on them. So, because this map has alfalfa, I don't think I can use growth control on it, is my understanding. Hey, it looks like I've nearly finished doing all the straw collection. Or at least all the baling. I did start out doing this with the loading wagon, but unfortunately the loading wagon has a capacity of 68,000 litres, which means it gets full very quickly, and then I've got a really long drive to the sell point to sell it. So I was like, no, that's not going to work for me. So what I decided to do was bale it, because with the bale trailer, I can transport more volume in one go. So hopefully fewer trips to the sell point. Or if the worst comes to worst and the price at the sell point absolutely tanks, at least I can just shift the bales and stack them somewhere for selling later on when the price recovers, and I can still then carry on working this field and get this field ploughed, cultivated, seeded, whatever it needs before I go tackle some more harvest. Obviously field 9, I can understand Mr. Helgi leaving field 9 for harvesting, because that does need me to I can find myself we're going to need to lease a different header to do field 9, because the header our combine has doesn't fit through the gate on the field, so we have to lease a different header for field 9. After we've harvested field 9, we're not going to plant crops on it again, because it's a pain to get in there with the harvester. So we're going to grass it. We're going to alfalfa it. We're going to plant alfalfa on it so we can just mow it instead, which will be a lot different. that's the bales done. That's a lot of bales picked up. I can't believe I've got nearly 97%. I've got 97% of a bale and it won't let me unload it. That's practically a full bale. You should let me empty the baler completely. Come on. So yeah, field 9 is that one there, and as you can see, the gate makes it very difficult to drive in there with the harvester without doing crop destruction. So we're going to need to rent a different header again to do that field. Fields 2 and 3 are not so bad. So yeah, there's our loading wagon, which I did the first load with, but I was like, if I'm doing the straw with the loading wagon, it's going to take me all day. Because every 68,000 litres I was going to have to drive halfway across the map to empty it. So I figured, might as well do bales, because each bale is 4,000 litres. The bale trailer will hold 32 square bales, I think it is. I think it's 32 square bales. Look, field 4 needs to be ploughed because it had obviously sunflowers on it. Might be worth me investing in the new plough before I do that. Field 11 is okay just to slap a new crop straight on. Right, let me get my trailer first of all. Boom. Yeah. I don't want to drive down to the shop to fetch it because that'll take me all day. Careful, chickens, you'll get run over. So watch yourselves, chickens. Got free-range chickens on this map, and they tend to wander all around the yard, and if you're not careful, you run them over. That one there's. They're not afraid of the tractors and equipment. They're quite brave. Large square bales. Yeah, I probably should have selected large square bales for this. That'll do. But by all accounts, this will hold 32 large square bales. Which, if my maths is correct, is 128,000 litres, which is double the loading wagon. So hopefully fewer trips at the sell point. Because obviously daylight is burning and I don't want to be harvesting at night because I can't see what I'm doing and people watching the stream can't see what's going on at night. Because obviously this game has dreadful headlights. I'm going to pick up the bales. Perfect. Got that one odd grass one which I will probably leave till the end. Because I might be able to chuck that in the silage machine instead. Probably be better for me. I would have normally gone for the, like I say, if it wasn't for the fact we have the loan that we need to get repaid, I would have just chucked all this straw straight in the sale point at the farm, the barn, the farm barn. But I do want to get that loan repaid as soon as possible, really. So that's why I'm taking these to the furthest point on the map for me to sell them, because that place tends to be better priced than local. The animal dealer pays way more for these straw bales than our farm can sell them for, so they might as well go to the animal dealer. Again, it's a little bit unfortunate that the soybean straw, corn straw and canola straw cannot be put into the BGA, or it can't be put into the silo, because obviously it's a different fill type. It's not generic straw. They're three completely new fill types, so there's no support for them at the moment on the map with mods and stuff. Like I say, I would like to maybe try and add support to it, because it would make life a little bit easier. It wouldn't be too bad if I could actually add this straw to maybe the bunkers, so I could actually put them in the bunkers, and maybe turn them into, maybe manufacture some compost and stuff out of them. I don't know, that'd be quite nice. You see, just check before I drive off, where is again the best place. It is still the animal barn by about 40 bucks, but I imagine after this delivery it won't be. Price is going to come down quite dramatically. Just don't want to tip the trailer over. Definitely do not want to tip the trailer over if I can help it. Which, as obviously regular viewers know, is something I do quite often, because high centre of gravity and all that. I take a corner a bit quick and a bit sharp and it just rolls over. But obviously there's a lot we need to do, like I say, with our future farm progression kind of things. Obviously, if we can get out from under the bank and get the loan repaid, we can then start investing our money in actually stuff for our farm, like some extra fields, because obviously if I start taking fields like 9, fields 2, fields 3 for things like grass and alfalfa, I'm going to need other fields to put crops back onto. So I'm going to need to buy some new land, and then obviously once we've got land and we've got crops, a lot of these placeable areas like here I want to get a hold of, because onto those I want to put the factories. I want to put the factories like the flour factory, the sunflower oil factory, the chips factory, you know. I'll go on here and sell these. Oh my lord, are you seriously telling me that that is not going to accept? Are you telling me that that will not accept? Oh, it will. But not when they're on the trailer. So the trigger is too low. Or the trailer is too high. It's a common issue I run into a lot with sell points in this game, with bales and pallets and things. You don't quite trigger properly anyway. We got them sold. That's the main thing. Got the bales sold. Right, next load. I think we got about 30,000 bucks for that. It was hard to tell because I wasn't really focusing on the money. I was more concerned with were the bales going to sell or not. So I didn't really pay attention to how much money we got. I think it would have been about 30,000. 32 bales. Which again is not to be ignored. You know, it's better than a poke in the eye with a stick. Much better than a poke in the eye with a stick. So we'll go pick up the rest of the bales. Corn growing on field 18, nice to see. Field 17 looks like it's getting close to harvest, or is ready to harvest. That's a big field. That's a big field. What is planted on that? Out of interest. Oats. Oats. So, farmer there going for a big money maker, because oats tend to be good value. Oats tend to be quite good value, and they do tend to be quite good money. And on that field, he's going to make some serious yield, providing he's done everything correct in terms of fertilising, ploughing, lime, you know, all that good stuff. I haven't looked at the contract screen yet today because obviously got far too much to do on our own farm. I've not looked at what contracts are on offer around the map. It'll probably be a day or two before we're in a position where I can look at contracts because there's so much to do. Looking at the field states, 28. So there's one field of potatoes that wants harvesting. I don't know if we'll get the contract to do that. We do have a potato harvester because obviously we started out with one in our starting equipment. Stevie was kind enough to give us a harvester, although it's not the best. It's not the best harvester in the world. And it's one again that I would like to upgrade as quickly as possible to a Roper or a Homer when finances, you know, allow. Because obviously I would like to do potatoes, because we're going to need them for doing animals anyway, for the pigs, for making pig food. And we've also then got the option as well of washing them and steaming them, which will make us, you know, a good income. So potatoes, although they are labour intensive, they are very profitable if you're prepared to put in the work. Sugar beets might even be profitable this time round, because obviously we will have the sugar factory possibly available to us, which will take sugar beets. I think it'll even take sugar cane. Well, it'll definitely take sugar cane as well, which means we might even be able to get a bit of sugar cane, which would be interesting, because we've not done a lot of that in previous multiplayers. But I've got a horrible feeling if I decide to do sugar cane, I'll end up doing it on my own. Bit like poplar. and cotton. If I do any of those crops, I will end up doing them, harvesting them all by myself. Because I don't get any help with those. Because nobody else likes them. You know. I can guarantee you, if I plant a field of cotton, the day it comes to harvest it, no one else is available. And no one else is available until after the harvest is done. Then suddenly everybody wants to play on the server again. And I'm like, it's funny that. I get stuck doing the cotton harvesting all by myself. I don't know why I drove around this field, because obviously it's been harvested, so I might as well cut across it. It would save me a few seconds. As we head back to the... Oh no! Autosave kicked in then. Did anybody else spot that? It's the only thing you've got to watch for with auto-load trailers when you're on a multiplayer server. When the autosave kicks in, it completely ejects the bales off your trailer. If you're driving down the road at some speed, they end up everywhere. So this should maybe take us close to 600,000. Got a feeling. Don't know if Mr. Helgi paid off any loan yesterday. After he did the corn and sunflower harvests. Finance screen in a little while to check and see. If not, I will make sure I pay a good chunk off of our loan with our profits. We was paying about 70,000 per day in interest on Thursday when I was last on the server. Our loan payments are coming down quite nicely. It's quite nice to not have to pay back 280,000 in loan interest every night, like we did the first day on the map. Right, I'm going to do it a bit differently this time then, because I know it goes in there. But obviously, I need to make sure... Where? Right. 1,000 plus 4,000, so that's basically 25 grand we got there. So yeah, the price has definitely come down significantly. That may be possibly the last run I do for the animal dealer. The rest of these might just for the rest of these bales for convenience might just go through the farm barn sales, because it'll be closer to the farm. It'll be much closer to the field, and I'll be able to get the bales picked up and sold much quicker. Also need to look at getting obviously an animal trailer so we can get the sheep, transport a load of sheep to the farm, get them purchased. The reason I won't purchase sheep at the pen is due to the fees, because again, this is a slightly modified map in that I have made the transport fees for the animals a lot higher, so that it basically, you know, forces you to take them and sell them with a trailer if you want to get any money for them. Selling the animals is quite good value. The animals are good value. However, the transport fees have been raised. So when you come to sell your cows, your pigs, your sheep, you want to be doing it with a trailer. Otherwise, you're not going to make a lot of money. When you can get £5 an animal just for taking it in a trailer, it's worth taking it in a trailer. I mean, obviously the horses are a little bit different because they are so excessively priced in such a way that, you know, you get 100 grand for a horse if you take it in a trailer. And you still get 70 if you sell it on the stable and let the dealer collect it themselves, I think. Or it works out at 70 if you buy it from the dealer and sell it to the dealer and don't use a trailer, because I think they charge you 10 grand each way or 15 grand each way, something like that. Again, I like doing that on the multiplayer because at the end of the day, on multiplayer, you should have people to do those jobs. You shouldn't need to, you know, do the convenience stuff. Cut corners. You should have players that are able and willing to do it. Plus, it gives them something different to do every now and then. Go sell a bunch of animals. Gives them a break from the fields. One of the reasons, again, why I kind of wanted, again, a bit further on this map, would like to get into the whole wood cutting, tree chopping. I know I've done a little bit in the past. Only done a little bit ever in the past, but that's because I always hated picking up the logs. I've now found a good way of picking up the logs. Or at least a way that's a little bit quicker. Which is nice. So now I'm a bit more encouraged, because that was the worst bit about the tree chopping. Chopping down the trees was always, you know, straightforward. You know, it wasn't a lot of hassle. But then trying to get the logs picked up and put onto a log trailer was always the flipping annoying bit. Because again, the physics in the game are a little bit janky at times. And when you start trying to use the log claws and log grapples, it would irritate me that I could only pick up one log at a time, and it would take forever to load a trailer. I don't know if Mr. Helgi noticed or not as well, but I did actually remove the hedge yesterday from this field. You couldn't drive through here before because there was a hedge and a gate and a fence and everything, but Stevie made the hedge on field 12 sellable, so you could get rid of it. If you ever wanted to make field 11 and 12 one massive ginormous field, you could. You know what? For the sake of 40 bucks, it's 40 bucks at the end of the day, I still need to go to the animal dealer. That price has not come down. It's still there at 184 bucks. So if that price was nearer to the 146 of the farm barn, I would have sold these bales at the barn just there in front of me. As it is, nah, not prepared to lose 40 bucks a bale or 160 bucks a bale as it actually is. 160 bucks a bale is a lot of money to sacrifice. So I'll go and get me 25 grand at the animal dealer for these. I'm enjoying myself. I'm cracking on. Cracking on. Worst comes to the worst, the harvest crop will just sit there. It ain't going to wither, because we don't have that turned on the server for obvious reasons. If there's nobody online for a few days, all your work goes to crap. So we don't have withering enabled, so I can leave the harvesting fields until after I've done all the jobs I want to do. So I can get field 11 fertilised and seeded. I can get field 4 ploughed and seeded, you know? And then I can move on. Again, I need to get the trigger part. And then just back that up. Gets rid of those. Yeah. About 25 grand again. Which is nice. It's keeping the money coming in. So far today, we've spent 36 grand on new vehicles, which is the trailer I'm using now. We spent $2,000 repairing vehicles. We've got $11,440 from property income. That'll be the solar panels on the roofs of all the buildings. And we've got 70 grand from sold bales thus far. 15 grand harvest income. That was the first. That was the loading wagon of straw. That was the 68,000 litres. Nobody's repaid any loan, sadly, at this point. Because we've paid 70,224 the last couple of days, which actually means it's actually gone up a bit, because it was... No, it hasn't. It's come down. It has come down. Yeah. Yeah, all the bales sold, and then I can look at the finances then, work out how much of this I'm going to chuck back into the loan. Obviously, I would like to buy the new plough. I'd like to get the new plough, and I would also like to maybe get a new cultivator if need be, if worst comes to worst, so that I can get some of these fields done a bit quicker, especially on the contracts, because there's a lot of ploughing contracts on this map. Some of the ploughing contracts don't actually pay too bad. They're offering quite good money. Problem is, we only have an 8-metre plough, and some of these fields are very massive, which means it will take absolutely ages. And I kind of then wonder whether the contracts are actually worth it because of the time it will take. Come on, dude, get out of the way, if you know what I mean. It's alright offering 15 grand to plough a field, but if it takes me 5 hours to do it, it's cost me a lot, especially if I could have done, you know, half a dozen fertilising contracts in the same amount of time, or a harvest contract, or, you know, or a couple of seeding contracts. So, I mean, when I did the cultivating contracts the other night, I did lease the culti plough, not the culti plough, the flexi coil. I got a quad track and a flexi coil offered to me by one farmer, and I snapped his hands off and then took that quad track and that flexi coil and went and actually did, I think it was 6 cultivating contracts. So what I lost leasing the quad track and flexi coil on the contract that, you know, on the field that I was supposed to use it on, I'm more than made up for by using it on the 5 other fields first and getting paid for those. So it actually works out very well. If you can do that, if you can find a farm that's willing to lease you a good sized piece of equipment to do a job, take it, but then make sure you do all the other jobs of the same sort first with that machine before you do his. It's like harvesting. When the guy offered us the case harvester and header the other night to do the sunflowers, yes, we took it. Because then at least we had 2 harvesters working on the sunflower harvest, which was great. Night before, when I did the sunflower harvest on field 22, or field 20, which one was it? I think it was field 20. Field 20, yeah, we did field 22 Thursday night. I did field 20 Wednesday night. Field 20, the guy was only offering me a Rostel Smash harvester, which was tiny, and I was like, it's not much point leasing that, because I'm going to spend as much time emptying it, keeping it running. It was just easier for me just to drive the our own case harvester and use our own header. That's what I did. Took me a long time Wednesday evening to do field 20, which is why Thursday night when we come to do field 22, it was better to have both me and Mr. Helgi driving harvesters. And we made use of Follow Me as well, and Follow Me worked really well to drive the auger wagon next to the harvester. It's probably the best we've ever seen it work, actually. You know, it operated brilliantly. I was really impressed. Never had to be touched after starting it up, apart from the one time Mr. Helgi accidentally pressed the wrong button and sacked the guy when it was following him, and he had to jump in the truck to hire a new worker. That was the only mishap. Apart from that, he drove the right speed, the correct distance ahead of the harvester the whole time, and for that reason I was very impressed. So it's got me thinking that we might want to invest in another auger wagon, so that there's 2 auger wagons, so that at least when we're doing a harvest contract like that in the future. That's a bad idea, because now I'm stuck. Bale stuck under the truck. Now I've got no traction even. I'll disconnect that for a second. There we go, that got it. That got it, and then immediately proceeds to drive over another bale and get stuck again. Yeah, that would be not good. Anyway, we're off. We're rocking. Price again quickly. It's actually going up in price. It's $1. Keeps going. It was $183 originally. Now it was $184. It's now $185. So it's actually getting a little bit more profitable each time I sell the bales. So one more trip down to the animal dealer. I don't think there's enough bales on that field to do another run. They will probably stay somewhere at the farm. Probably unload them somewhere over here in my little... You know what, I was going too fast then. Far too fast. Not paying attention. Okay, we can raise and lower the drawbar. That's good. Can I move that at all? Oh, I can. That's even better then. That gives me a bit of adjustment on the truck and the bale trailer. Means I can turn corners better now because I'm not bashing the trailer, the headrest of the trailer up against the header on the truck, the rack on the truck. I can do some sick turns. Yeah, we'll go get rid of these and then we'll have a look. Like I say, if I can afford that plough, it would be nice to get it. I don't know if field 4 also needs to be lime spread. Doesn't. So it just needs to be ploughed. Okay. I mean, technically I could get rid of the culti plough, couldn't I? As well. But yeah, does anyone out there by any chance happen to know off the top of their heads, or can anybody look it up quickly for me and post in the chat what the actual what the fill types are for the straw me mod, what they're actually named, as in the windrows? Like the bale types, because I would like to add that to the map, add those fill types to the map, into like the silos and the bunkers at the BGA and stuff, so that I can drop some stuff in. Would be nice if he could have dropped stuff into the into the bunkers to make compost. Truck's starting to feel a little bit sluggish. If it needs repair. Truck probably needs repair. The trailer needs a wash, which is not a great advert. I've literally only just bought it. I suppose I have been driving up and down this field collecting all these horrible bales. £600 grand in the bank. Did we put anything in the silo? He must have sold everything, I'm guessing. Corn, 237,476 litres of straw. What? That's insane. That's not in the silage mecca. 122,000 litres of corn in the silo. No, so all the sunflowers have been sold. We've not kept any sunflowers. So it looks like we sold the sunflowers. No, we didn't have sunflowers. We had soybeans, didn't we? So we kept the corn but sold the soybeans. Okay. And we've got a lot of straw in the silo, which might want shifting over and putting in our fermenting plant mod thing. At least then we could take some silage down to the BGA. Because again, we've got no animals at the minute that require us to have straw. Chickens don't have straw. Where's that grass bale? That one random grass bale. Oh, it was up here somewhere. There it is. There it is. What I can do is I can take this trailer back to the farm. I'll run these 7 bales through the farm. I'm not going to go all the way to the animal dealer with these 7. Let me get the all of those sold okay. We'll put this trailer over here. I'm hoping it won't be in anybody's way in particular. I need to grab the other trailer now because obviously I'm going to have to get some straw plugged into there. Which right now is all sitting in the silo, occupying tons of space. Right, I'm going to want some fuel for the tractor, for the truck. I will repair the truck in a little while. $214,000. Take a load of this, chuck it in the fermenting station. Can be making into silage or whatever, which can then go to the BGA another day, along with all the straw from fields and other harvests when we pull them in. I think I'm going to have a go at ploughing next, and I don't know whether to do it with that, which will also do fertilising. Part of me wants to test one. It's only worth testing if it's going to actually do what I want it to do. Let that empty out of there. That up and switch that on, because obviously we've got that for our plough. We've then got the culti plough, which is nice. It's okay, it's not brilliant. And the cultivators, what can we get cultivator technology that would be better than that Amazoning? One of them, perhaps? Requires a serious big boy tractor to pull it. It's 12 metres. But so's that for 100 grand less. Both gone, so we've got the money for them. What were we replacing them with then? That requires 500 horsepower. That one doesn't. That one's cheaper still and does 7.7 meters. Is that as big as it gets? That's as big as that one gets. I'm going to take one of these. for 189 grand. For the ploughs. 147 for the 197 for the one that does lime, not necessarily important. Or 243 grand for the one that does fertiliser application. Don't think it's really worth it. I think if I'm going to go for any, I'd sooner have that. I think. And of course finances. Repay some loan. Pay 100 grand off. Let's go part this, first of all. Gonna need a big machine to pull this bit of kit, unfortunately. Probably Mr. Fence Tracked, Mr. Helge's Fent is going to be the one for this machine. Let's just check horsepowers again. 480 was for the cultivator, wasn't it? Yeah, 480. Plough is 400, so my little red tractor can do the ploughing. But first, I've got to go now and get the chippy tea sorted out. So, unfortunately, folks, I'm going to have to take a break on the stream. I will be back after dinner in about an hour or so's time. Sorry about this. I hate being interrupted, but the family needs food, so I've got to go and get it. So thank you everyone who's tuned in. I will see you all a little bit later on, and we'll continue where we've finished at this point, and I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye for now, folks. Hopefully come back and see me later.